Man, he's already in the waiting room. I wanted us to do the sound check real quick, and then I'm gonna admit him.
Okay.
Okay, you sound good. How about my volume?
You sound good. You don't sound like you're yelling at me.
All right, so that works. Okay, cool. All right, well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and
Can
let
you
him
hear me
in.
okay?
Oh yeah, it's clear. It
All
sounds
right.
good. It's a
So
good
I don't
volume.
need to lean in.
No, nope,
Okay.
not at all. All right, bro. I'm gonna go ahead and let him in.
All right. You ready for this?
Oh yeah, yeah, man.
Okay.
Here we go. Oh, remind me real quick. Who I know Gideon, but remind me who is Gideon again?
Oh, you'll find out.
Okay, then. All right, cool. I'm gonna let him in.
And let's just say hello.
All right, he's coming in. I gotta sneeze.
Hey there, Gideon.
Why does it come up Gideon?
Oh my goodness.
Wait, can y'all see me?
No, you gotta
No,
start your video,
that's
man.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up? What's up, Chris?
What's going on?
Man, I thought about you yesterday, man, for real. And you know, the funny thing is, just now your name popped up, and I was like, I told James, I said, yeah, Gideon's in the waiting room. I said, let's do this sound check before we let him in. And then I was like, wait, but remind me again, who's Gideon? And then James is like, oh, you'll see. And of course, when you came on, I'm like, duh, Gideon. It's been a while. It's been a while, man.
Yeah, I guess it stayed that way from when I set it up for his school.
Okay.
You can do a rename on your end, Derek. On your side, you can rename it.
Okay, yeah, I could. Y'all want me to do that, Chris? Yeah.
I'm just gonna leave it Gideon.
Well, let me tell you what makes it even worse now. Now, of course, as you said, you set it up for his school. I'm realizing, oh yeah, that's Chris's son's name. I was thinking that was your nickname that we used to call you, but that was Billy Bob. So I'm really off, man. Everything's just blending together. Okay.
Look, you've got 3 daughters. You get a pass.
Okay, thank you.
But that's the only reason why you got a pass, because of 3 daughters.
That's what's up, man.
So I didn't tell you at all that I didn't know if you knew that he was coming on the podcast today. I just wanted to see how you would react. So
yeah, man, that was a pleasant surprise, man. For real.
But the Gideon is what threw it off. I loved it. When he asked me, like, all right, can you remind me who Gideon is again? I'm like, oh, I'm definitely not telling him who Gideon is now.
Exactly.
Definitely not telling him.
That's crazy. That is crazy, man. Yeah, I even had started thinking about like folks that I had met through you, and like I was putting faces with who possibly Gideon was, and
you were never gonna guess
right
that.
before he came on, I thought Gideon was like this middle-aged, tall black guy. Like really kind of wore glasses. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's Gideon.
You got the middle-aged part right.
Well, you got the
Chris, you're not quite middle-aged, Chris. 40, around 40. That's not quite middle-aged yet.
I'll be 42 this year.
Well,
yeah.
Good,
as much as I don't want to admit it, I think the 40s is middle-aged.
Yeah.
It's 45 to 80.
45. You got to get to 45. That's what it's middle-aged. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, can we call this the James and James podcast now?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness. Well,
We could do that.
Would it be too much for us to explain to the audience, James? You know, we're not introducing ourselves anymore.
It's too much.
Okay.
It's too much. Everybody knows. Look, this is episode 4 now. If you don't know who we are, but
not us. The fact that we're James, and James.
Oh yeah, well, no. Everybody needs to know this whole scenario.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you're James Derek Lovett. I'm James. James Madcock. James Christian Cole. Wait, is it? I don't think I ever realized this until just now. Our first names are all James?
No, James.
Okay.
My first name is Derek.
Okay. Your middle name is James. Okay. I'm just making sure. It's early in the morning. You know. That really would have been perfect. All three of us have the first name of James. It was just awesome.
Yeah, that's great. What you drinking over there, man? Gatorade?
Yes, Gatorade Orange.
Cool.
Yeah.
Chocolate milk.
Really? Chocolate milk?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, goodness.
What are you drinking, Derek?
Man, I haven't had anything to drink yet this morning. I've been up since 2:30.
Why?
I'm gonna drink something a little bit. Man, it's Saturday morning and I didn't have to work today. I went to bed at probably 9:30 or so. So my body woke me up and I just got to work and I had to get some things done this morning.
Okay.
Hey, I was up about the same time, but that was because Gideon peed through his pull-up.
So did you go back to bed?
Oh yeah.
I haven't been back to bed. No.
See, I woke up around that same time too, but I scrolled through Facebook and forced myself back to sleep, and yeah. But you've been up since 2:30 in the morning.
Oh yeah, man. That's kind of been typical on my weekends for me. Weekends and occasionally, weekdays, if I can get up really early. Like if I go to bed at 9:30, 10 o'clock, I'll get up at 2:30 and start working. And that just helps me. I got 4 hours of working on some stuff before my kids got up. So
well, yeah. Yeah, well, no, it's hard to get a response out of you sometimes. I sent you that thing with remember you asked me for that guy that did the personal chef thing, that idea that I gave you.
Yeah.
And you didn't tell me whether or not you liked the stuff or not. I was like, well, I guess he doesn't like it.
Oh, I loved it.
Well, now I know.
I almost ordered something right then, but I am planning on something.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
I'll let Sean know.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
But how you been, Billy Bob, Chris?
Been good.
Yeah.
Tired. Yeah.
You look sleepy. But you look good.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's early here too. Well, I guess I'm an hour before y'all, so I should.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Well, wait, you're on Eastern Standard Time?
Yeah.
Wow.
Dang.
9 o'clock, 9:04.
God.
Jeez, man.
It's the fun of every day of doing math in my head just to try to figure out what time I got to be at work.
But you're in Phoenix City is on Eastern Standard Time?
Oh yeah.
Because they're next to Columbus.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. So Chris, you're still at can we disclose names on here, James? I mean, I guess we could share workplace.
We're just we're talking. Yeah, you can.
Oh, you still in the Department of Transportation?
Or you could say ALDOT, and people are like, what the hell is ALDOT?
Okay.
Yeah, in my 18th year.
No way. Oh my gosh.
When did you leave?
18 years. I left in 2015. So this makes June will make 7 years I've been gone. Wow. I know, time flies. Wow, Chris, 18 years, man. You'll be able to retire right after you hit middle age.
Yeah, but I'm probably gonna have to wait until Gideon graduates.
I got you. Yeah.
It's a long haul every day, but I'm used to it.
Yeah. What's that drive?
About an hour and a half.
Oh my goodness.
With the time change.
But that doesn't include what you have to do when you have to go onto different plants and stuff too, right?
I don't do that no more.
That's good, man.
So
you're in the office all day?
I'm a supervisor now.
That's what's up.
Except for my radiation safety stuff, I still have to kind of go do that. But
okay.
Man.
So with the supervising stuff, you're in the office, but you can kind of, I guess you have discretion when you leave and go places, like to check on things.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I can still get out and go do stuff, but most of the time I'm busy doing paperwork.
Man. So that means you don't even test cores anymore, right?
I've trained somebody else to do that now.
Man. Well, see, that's how much things have changed.
Delegate. That's how delegate.
That's where it's at, man. That is where it's at. So, man,
well, this week I was off because, his school was closed, but, I still get 20 phone calls a day.
Oh, goodness. How old is Gideon now?
He is 5.
Wait a minute. So my
it's on you.
Older. Yeah, my daughter's. Oh, I'm on. Okay.
No, it's on you that you don't know how old his son is.
Oh, well, what I was gonna say was I didn't remember my daughter being older than Gideon. She's 6. I didn't remember. I was thinking there was the other way around. They had Gideon before I had Josiah. So
that's Josiah, Ariel, Ava.
That's right.
He's watching people do Nerf gun stuff right now on YouTube.
That's wild. That is wild.
He's apparently there's like a zombie fort in my living room right now.
He's definitely
so he's learning from the master. You've always told me that you were ready for a zombie apocalypse. So you're already prepping him. That's good.
Yeah, well, I can tell you right now, this apartment is not zombie safe.
Well, I don't know. But if you put treadmills around the building, it'd be all right, wouldn't it?
Well, the tough part about that is up here, there's a lot of meth. And so just, the distinction between a meth head and a zombie would be kind of hard.
But see, that would be on you. That wouldn't be on him because he wouldn't be old enough to understand what's going on. You wouldn't allow him to have guilt about it. It'd be like, what was that, Dad? A zombie. That was a method.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Not saying that it's okay to do that. I'm just saying, like, if it happens and you don't know the difference, if he grows up in a world where he doesn't know the difference between a zombie and a method, I mean, it's not murder. He's not intentionally trying to murder somebody. It's self-protection. And there's a difference between, thou shalt not kill and thou shalt not murder. 2 different things.
Yeah. You have to expound on that for us one day.
Well, you saying it's too heavy for right now?
The world's a cold place, so
I'm not gonna kill anybody.
Not you.
No,
it's a crazy world out there.
Well, yeah, I don't know if you saw this on the news the other day, and this kind of hits on infrastructure and roads and buildings and all that stuff. I saw where a building in Pittsburgh collapsed, like a highway building. A bridge. I'm sorry, yeah. Bridge, highway bridge. I'm sorry, I said building, I meant bridge. But a highway bridge collapsed. And I'm like, that actually happens?
And there's nothing funny about it, but the weird coincidence was I think Biden was supposed to be there that day to talk about
right. That's what I'm saying about infrastructure. I'm like,
goodness.
Are you sure somebody didn't accidentally detonate the thing? Because you don't hear a lot about a highway bridge collapsing.
No, it was some years back. What was it? Maybe 5 years back. Chris, you may remember this. But wasn't it Minneapolis? Or it was somewhere. It was somewhere up in the Midwest area, and I think with those states, a lot of their bridges and things are just really old, and Chris knows, like with the DOT, you gotta, those inspections are every so many years, and we're really supposed to pay attention to detail, and a lot of times, depending on how strict the different when folks go and observe that stuff, things get overlooked, so that's unfortunate, but it's a very meticulous thing, to pour concrete the right way and all that kind of stuff. Make sure the inspections are up to par.
So my question is, based off of that bridge collapsing and based off of what you just said, obviously concrete's going to maybe wear and tear over time.
Right.
So what would you do in that situation? You would just shut down a highway and replace it?
I mean, you have to.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just never look. I've been on highways and going across bridges for you. Remember Adam? Adam would freak out going across a bridge. So, I never, I'd go across a bridge. I don't even think about it. So I'm like, now that, when I saw that, I'm like, I mean, I was literally getting ready to leave the building. I saw it up on the screen. I'm like, what? I've never heard of that happening. I mean, aside from a natural, if you like an earthquake or something.
Like right now, like if you wanted to see the process of them doing new bridges, like you come up to Auburn, between Auburn and Opelika.
Yeah.
And you can see how it's done because they're redoing all those bridges.
Wow.
And you can see where they're going to be building the new Buc-ee's.
Derek, have you ever been to a Buc-ee's?
I don't think so.
Buc-ee's,
you're going to have to come to Auburn and go to Buc-ee's.
It's the Walmart of gas stations. That's the easiest way I can describe it. It's awesome.
And they have the cleanest bathrooms of any gas station ever.
Oh, well, I mean, y'all know I'm all about clean when it comes to stuff like that. I don't stop at places because they're not clean. So
really?
Yeah, man. Oh my gosh. I will hold my bladder for hours if I can't stop at a nice clean bathroom. So yeah, I'm all about Buc-ee's then.
Okay. Well,
I'd rather try to make it home. Even if you got the hair standing up on your arms, I'm waiting.
Yeah, man. Public folks just do crazy.
People are nasty.
Yeah,
people are friggin' nasty. Yeah. And now on the first floor, what they did with the first floor, they added like a key combination lock on it. So you have to know the code in order to get into the bathroom on the first floor, because you can go in and out of the building and there's a lot of homeless people. So they added a code on the first floor. Well, now people are coming up to the second floor because there's not a code on the second floor. So I'll be going to the bathroom and just some rando just walking out of the stall. I'm like,
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I was walking by your building. I was walking by your building the other day, and I could see. I think it was a person. They came in. I mean, of course, it was kind of cold that day, so it was nice that they had a little shelter. But I can see how that side door, how folks might just start to
side door
in the lobby. Yeah.
All the doors. If it's open, they're going on in there.
Yeah.
Which is completely understandable, but like I said,
it could be dangerous, it could be, anywhere could be dangerous, but yeah. So
well, I definitely feel like the homeless in Montgomery has vamped up because you can't you can't go to any exit without seeing somebody.
Oh yeah.
You can't walk down Dexter without getting somebody soliciting for you for money. I'm like, I don't have any cash on me.
Chris, you make a good point. The last year, I mean, I've never seen anything like it in Montgomery. It's like really, really grown. And I've seen, and it had to be the combination of the pandemic and I think some specific drugs, in our area, opioids, the crisis really hitting that area. But I mean, I saw entire families, man, out there. Like
families?
Yes.
Oh,
I saw
like the Target in Montgomery. I saw a woman with her 2 kids out there and their puppy, and she's out there holding her sign. And
I saw looked like a husband and wife, and they had maybe 4 or 5 kids.
Really?
Yeah, it's rough, So there's a combination of things clearly that have happened, to cause that when you see stuff like that. But
I don't think we'll ever get to the way LA is. LA is just I heard it's a completely different place altogether. There's that footage of how it looked on the railroad tracks and just the debris everywhere, and on the highways, camp tents and all that stuff. I haven't visited LA in a while, but I think it's going to be a while before I visit.
Yeah, that won't happen to us because LA is probably
density,
overpopulated. Exactly.
Yeah.
So also with better affordability of housing here.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true. I think we have a pretty decent program too, like housing program. Things are more accessible here, you would think, because there's less of a demand because our population, the population density isn't like it is in LA. You can actually go somewhere to the housing authority or something and I think get something worked out. They've got different programs that for everybody, versus LA or somewhere you're on a waiting list. So you would think. But I was gonna ask, the bridge that collapsed, were there any fatalities?
I saw a bus on the bridge. I don't think it collapsed all the way down to the ground, but I saw it where it collapsed just enough.
Yeah, I saw where they did like a human chain to get people off the bus.
Oh my God. Wow. Ooh, somebody messed up. Wow. So how is there a shelf life to concrete? I mean, how long does it last?
Well, I think if it's been a while for me, but I remember I think we used to compare comparing asphalt, like replacing the asphalt road to to concrete pavement. I think concrete outlasted asphalt somewhere between 2 to 3 times. So if asphalt would last
10 years, it'd be 30
years. Exactly.
Gotcha.
So I think it was something like
that Asian math calculating in my brain.
Oh yeah, that was pretty good. You did 10 times 3. That was good.
Yep. And of course, there's like a lot more factors that go into it. Like, was the concrete good to begin with?
Yeah, the mix.
Like what's its actual strength when they put it on there?
Yeah, that's true.
Was that inspected right?
Yeah. But that's.
Well, one thing I've noticed is, here, I mean, you can go out there and people might not test it right. And some of it's just been bad concrete, but then some of the people that, like, if we were watching them, there's nothing we can really do because we're not over those people. And it's just kind of it's kind of a messed up situation.
So even with, let's say we get to the point where it already has computer programming in it and everything. You just, if I'm wrong, correct me. You dump it in the machine says this is the reading on the test. then there's still somebody looking at it to make sure it matches up properly. So there's still room for human error, no matter how advanced it gets. In other words,
yeah,
is that right? Yeah.
Well, with concrete, there's not really any real machines that you test with. A lot of it's done manually.
Oh wow. Okay.
And like, there's certain spots that they're supposed to get the sample from. They might not do that.
Wow.
It's just a bunch of different. There's a lot of different factors.
And Chris, let's make it plain about at a testing site. The thing is, and we've been out there on the sites where you got a contractor and they're pouring the concrete and somebody does a test and or a test, we do the initial test and it's off a little, and concrete is just like anything else. I mean, it's a numbers game. The contractor, of course, does not want to have to go back and get a whole nother batch of concrete to come pour out. So oftentimes, they're given that leeway if the test is off a little bit, or even who knows, what goes on. But between the person testing and the folks laying it down, I mean, I think probably more times than not, that concrete is allowed to go down in most cases, even if it doesn't quite pass the results. And I'm not speaking that to say that's how it goes down, in our state. I'm just saying from experience and being out there, I could see that happening more times than not, because it's such a huge operation and it's so time consuming, and it's a complicated thing when you have to go back and get more concrete, because it's got to be a certain temperature outside for that concrete to pour. Oftentimes, it's poured early in the morning before it gets too hot. So you got to drive 30, 40 minutes back to the site. By the time you get back, the temperature's higher and stuff, and folks don't want to deal with all of that. So it's a lot that goes into it.
I'm learning a lot of stuff today. Chris, you've been a part of this for like years. Derek, you were in it for a while. I just drive on a road, drive across a bridge. I like probably anybody that's listening to this is like, that really goes into, like, all this work goes into that. It's like, well, yeah, that's where your taxpayer's dollar goes to. It goes to all that to make sure. I mean, the road just doesn't magically appear, I mean, somebody's got to get out there and do it. And then if they're doing it, there's work behind it too. You've got to make sure that it doesn't, you don't drive. Think about the number of cars that go over a bridge or on a road,
But believe it or not,
in the heat.
We have people that actually do that. They'll sit there with this thing that goes across the road, but they sit in this truck with this box, and it has like, like a button for semi trucks, a button for cars or whatever. And as they pass, they're just pushing these buttons.
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
and that's one of the ways that we figure out how much traffic is going on that road.
Exactly. And that goes into the asphalt and concrete, the design, James. Like Chris was saying, we literally count on average how many 18-wheelers and regular.
It's such a manual process. That's amazing. It's such a manual process with the level of technology that we have. But I mean, I guess there's no way to get that to where it's like completely, even if you do augment it and use AI and automate a lot of it, again, you're still going to need somebody
exactly
making sure that the data is being recorded properly.
Exactly, because there are some automated counters and things in places, but it's almost a check system too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And also, it's the state of Alabama, so our technology always quite up to date.
Now, Chris, we are one of the. When I was there, I think I remember we were one of the nation's leaders though with the asphalt, right? When it came to asphalt technology. So throw that little.
Well, that's good. That's one good thing for Alabama.
I mean, folks come from all over the nation though to the test track in Auburn. because they lead innovation, and at least some years ago they were leading the innovation in asphalt technology.
I have a solution for this problem. Y'all may think this is completely weird, but that's okay. With the metaverse coming online, we could all just be hooked into pods, and then you don't have to worry about infrastructure anymore. You just like go straight Matrix on it and just be hooked into pods, completely virtual.
But then we'll be more like what was that movie? Yeah, with that little robot.
iRobot. Gosh, yes. WALL-E.
Yeah.
WALL-E.
Like those people on the spaceship where they're just sitting in the chairs
all day. And WALL-E's just sitting there rolling around in the dust bowl of Earth.
I didn't get to see that. Is that a movie I should watch?
It's a Disney movie. Yeah, it's a good movie.
Okay.
And if you like that movie, you should probably watch the movie called Idiocracy.
Okay. They don't sound like they go together, but okay.
It does.
Okay, well, WALL-E you can watch for your kids. Okay. Idiocracy you can't. But Idiocracy, honestly, I feel like the world is going towards everything that happens in that movie.
Okay. That's a movie.
It has electrolytes. It's what's good for you.
You mean water?
I gotta see that. Toilet? Oh my God. Y'all have already sold me that, man. I gotta see it. I think I'm gonna watch it today.
President Macho Camacho.
Is that on like Netflix or anything?
You could probably find it on YouTube. If not, it's probably on Amazon. Okay. Now, the director of the movie also directed the movie Office Space.
Okay. I remember.
And this particular director / creator was also well known for creating King of the Hill.
Ah, got it.
Who is also the creator of
Simpsons. Am I
on?
What was that? I don't know.
Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, Beavis and Butthead. Okay.
Yeah, which is actually on Pluto TV right now.
Oh my goodness. Let's see.
No, it just went off.
Oh.
What was that? I was gonna say something earlier. Anyway. So anyway, I was trying to think of it was something I was gonna say earlier. I can't remember. So anybody else got
Father brain, dad brain. I mean, y'all both
230 brain.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, how's that? How's the refresh, rebuild, refocus coming along?
Oh yeah, refresh, refocus, rebuild. The book was published, as you know, James, about early January, and since then, I've also finished the planner. So there's a planner that goes with the book. So they're available on the site themclife.com, THEEMCEE life.com. And I'm excited. As much as I'm excited about the book, man, I'm so excited about the planner because growing up, like my mom would always buy me planners and they never worked for me. Like I would try to use a planner. I guess I'm like I would think a lot of men struggle using planners, but I could not use it. Like it just wouldn't connect. Like there was nothing that made it really relevant for me at the time. And so the fact that I was able to develop a planner based off of the framework of the book is exciting because this is coming from somebody who struggled. So I really believe that the way that this planner is made, it can literally help, be great for anyone, whether you are a great planning person, very organized, or whether you're disorganized and you've ever felt like planners were not for you. So
well,
yeah, I'm excited about that, man.
So how much if I wanted to buy one of these planners, how much would it cost me?
Well, that's a good question. Let me show you one. It was formerly, I'm gonna say 25. It was formerly on the site for 20, but let me tell you why it's 25 now. Hold on.
Are you gonna sign a planner for me?
and that is actually, here's the refresher. And that's actually market rate. The exclusive like custom planners are anywhere between $25 to $45 to $50. Gotcha. So it's market rate. But the thing is, it actually cost me $6.50 just to make a planner. You consider the shipping and everything else. I had to go up, and what I'm doing with these planners is I'm actually offering them for folks wanting to run fundraisers, so they can actually sell the planners. And we're willing to pay $10 for every planner. So the 25 encompasses that $10 plus the $6.50 for us to make it and shipping to give us a minimal profit. And y'all know, off of revenue, we believe in, tithes. So I got a tithe off so had to make a couple dollars. So that's right.
That's right. You got to make a little profit.
Make a little profit.
If you had told me when you two were working together that Derek would go on to do anything business related, do you think you would, Chris? I don't know. When we were all living together, I was like, I don't know.
I want to hear this.
I could see it. I was actually, when he was talking about his planner, I was expecting him to pull out like something the size of like a board or something, because he has so much stuff going on.
Oh yeah.
That's funny.
I still just remember to this day you getting on to him about like taking a nap or whatever. It just
What was that? Remind me. What was the nap thing? Oh, you talking about Chris trying to take a nap and me being so loud?
Well, that too.
Talking about, James?
Just you taking a nap whenever you could.
I do remember me getting on to you for praying so loud at 5:30 in the morning. I think I was like, God doesn't want you yelling at him this early.
Those were your words.
Well, the funny thing is you were up on the second floor, so it was like broadcasting down. Well, it was, his room was next to yours, but then it was also broadcasting down into the house too.
Over into your basketball court of a bedroom.
That bedroom was awesome. Yeah. I don't care what anybody says. All it needed was a fireplace. I love that thing because that we get people come in the room. It's like, why is there a bed in the center of the room? Because like, look how big this room is.
Yeah, that was a huge room. But I remember, didn't it have like really low ceiling or something? I just remember something about that. Okay. No,
well, that's because you were on the second floor.
Right, my second floor is fine. I'm just saying when I would come down to your room, I just thought I remembered like a really low ceiling. But no, maybe not. No. It didn't have a low ceiling. I guess it's just in my mind at that moment.
That house really was awesome. $1,000 a month between the four of us, $250.
Was that all we paid?
Yes, trust me.
That was really nice.
That was the selling point for me. I was like, all right, I'm in.
Yeah, that was really nice.
Well, except for James, sometimes he covers Zach.
Yeah. I was way too generous back then.
Look, y'all.
Wait, what about his room? The room, when you open up the room, it looks like everything was about to fall out of the room.
That's why he always slept on the couch.
Oh gosh! Oh my goodness!
He really turned it into his personal hamper.
Well, look, he was a musician. He lived his music.
He lived in chaos.
He really didn't. That
still is.
Yeah, that was his storage space. That's it. That room was his storage space.
What you think about it? It's funny. We kind of went on to get settled down and have kids. As far as I know, I don't think he has a child.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Huh. It always has. I guess if you play the odds, there's always going to be 1 out of 4. I guess.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
I can see my kid growing up, going to the beach, and they're like, "Hey, I heard at this place it's good singer," and it's this, old leathery looking man, and it's gonna be Zach.
Yep. Yep. You think he'll have a beard by that point in time? It'd be kind of like a long beard, or
no, but I think that he's gonna have like that brown leather looking skin.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Too long.
Oh yeah. Probably smoking right in between sets. You know, he's got a lovely singing voice, though. Got a lovely singing voice.
And for the record, we all love Zach. That's what makes it cool.
Well, yeah. I mean, how many times do we go up on a Thursday night when he was playing and just go out there and hang out?
Entertain us many times, yeah. Zach always had, really. I liked his raspy voice. It was
that's
different.
What I'm saying. It was unique. The sound. Yeah.
Hey, but how about y'all? I still don't know how I was able to move all my stuff up those winding steps by myself. It was God helping me. You know how old and heavy that stuff was. That when I couldn't do that today. I swear I couldn't. I don't have the willpower.
It's like those TVs that we had there too. Those TVs were heavy as hell. Those weren't flat screen TVs. Those were the big box type TVs that we had in throughout the house.
But that was like, the first time that I was going to meet Becca, and then I moved my TV and I hurt my back.
Or what about that time where, remember when we were moving into the new place, and I don't know why, but I got distracted playing basketball, and you were like, James, come on, man, we got to keep moving this stuff. What the hell are you doing? I'm like, I'm sorry, I got distracted playing basketball.
we got a lot of memories in that house. What about the time where we had all those fruit flies? Wasn't it something James had left in there?
It was the rice cooker.
Oh, it was the rice cooker. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God. And we were like, where's this coming from?
Yeah, I forgot it was in there. That's right. And I had to crash the whole rice cooker. That's right.
Oh my goodness.
You remember that time where Nicole and Carrie came over, and I think it involved the rice cooker in the rice.
Yeah, you cooked them some rice, and then that was the rice that ended up with the fruit fly.
That makes sense.
And I think I was really drunk at the time.
That's why you didn't remember to like.
Well, yeah, obviously. But they said something, and it was kind of racist. And then I did something else, and well, shut up and go get that rice or something. Something. It was something funny like that. I can't remember what it was. I was out of it that night. Yeah, sounds about right.
A lot of stories in that house, but for me personally, the one of them, I'm gonna just say, I wanted to say that takes the cake is still, and I've told this before, but James had invited me to come to his baptism, He had changed his life, accepted the Lord. He was going to get baptized, and this is supposed to be that Sunday morning. He comes home probably, I don't know, 12:30 2 a.m. that morning, that Sunday morning, just drop dead drunk. I mean, in my mind, there was no way ever that James could get up in the morning and go to church. I don't know if I've ever seen somebody in person like where he was so drunk. And so the next day, I'm thinking, James isn't going to get baptized. I'm just gonna stay in the bed. I get up, James is like gone. He comes back at like 11 a.m. or whatever. I think he went to early church. And he's like, I'm like, where you been, man? I went to church. I got baptized. I could not believe it, man. That's when I knew God did it, but I also knew James was a real professional drunk before that. Because only professional drunks can do that. Straight up.
Well, to give a little backstory to that baptism, happened in 2012. So it was in downtown, right where the when you're going towards downtown, it's like a little building right near Katoma. And so it's inside that building. So I go in there and, they give us clothes to get baptized in. And I get ready to step into the tank, and they warned me, say, hey, by the way, this water is going to be a little cold. And you know, me and cold do not, I still hate the cold. So I get ready and I step my foot into the tank. And I'm like, oh, and again, you're right. I'm still feeling it from last night. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, this is a private moment between me and God. I'm not going to know anybody doing there. And I look and they start saying, you know, do you accept the Lord Jesus Christ as your Savior? And I'm like, yes. And I look, and walking through the lobby is Robin. Yeah. I was like, hey, I know you. I come up out of the water and it's it's like freezing cold. So I let loose this woo, and they capture that moment.
Oh my God.
And that's my baptism photo.
So the woo wasn't because you just got baptized, it's because the water was cold.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
But you know, they probably put that on the website. Like,
exactly. Right.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
this guy
he was feeling it.
Right. Just before he went under the water, he's talking about, oh, I know you. Like, you were still a little drunk. We get it. You really were.
And so, like, it would be like a couple months later, the pastor used to go, hey, just so you know, we've kind of changed those water tanks, and they're heated and they're filtered too. I'm like, well, yours was one of the best baptism photos. I'm like, yeah. Thanks.
That's funny, man. That's funny.
Yeah, they were like, we had to start filtering it because some alcohol leaked into
it. People, you going down and getting dunked in the water, they're coming up, they're acting weird. Oops.
That's funny.
We had a lot of people over at that old house, you know.
We met a lot of
people
in that house.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the house, I must say, for pre-middle-aged folks, right? Because we talked about 9-10 years ago now. It's crazy. Oh my gosh. Yeah, 10 years ago. We had the house in Cloverdale, man. We had the hot spot. I have to say.
Actually, me and James have lived in 2 hotspot houses.
Yes.
Oh,
but the original hotspot, the stories from that place, I can't even imagine. I don't even know how we got that tailgate tent inside the house. That's one of the greatest mysteries of all time.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
When y'all were living
like
there,
four couches in there.
Yeah, and Christmas lights.
When y'all were living there, I was doing my single bachelor thing. I stayed before I moved in there. I stayed in Cloverdale. I had a studio apartment. Then I moved across the street, to like a 1-bedroom apartment. Then I moved across the street from that to a 2-bedroom apartment. All that was in Cloverdale over a period of like 2.5 years.
But now, I remember meeting you at Jalapenos on his birthday on Cinco de Mayo.
Mm-hmm.
So at that time, you were still in the studio apartments back then?
So that was 2011. No, what happened was...
No. It couldn't have been 2011. That would be 31 years old at the time.
No, that's when I met you, beginning of 2011. Cinco de Mayo, May.
No, that doesn't sound right.
No?
No, that's too late.
Because we were in our 20s.
Yeah, but
I was still in my 20s.
I thought we stayed in the apartment from August 2011 through August 2012.
Maybe you did, but I wasn't in an apartment with you.
The town, well, not the apartment, the house.
It was like I was in my 30s. I had just turned 30 when we were in there. So it was in 2009, 2008, maybe. Because you were off of Boltier still. When did you move out of Boltier?
Is that what we? Okay, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't even know.
I don't know. I just know I was in the house with y'all from.
Yeah, I just know I was in a house.
That's what I'm saying. It was August 2011 through August 2012. Because when I moved out of there, I temporarily went to Birmingham from September through December, and I moved back in a townhome out off of in Vaughan Lakes in January 2013. So
I think I'm pretty sure you're mistaken. Pretty sure. Because I remember on my 30th birthday going out to rock bottom, not wanting to go out. So
I think you need to use some more of that Asian math. And
29, 28. 29, 28 was because 2013 we were definitely in the me and you were in the place right next door to it. So
I do not remember.
And the craziest thing is, I remember, like James is saying he's pretty sure, but we'll off record, like when we're not on camera where we can really think about it, we'll have to do that because I know the dates that I was in that house because everything else is what was fit around that. Like I know, so I know my dates because I know when I moved back to Montgomery. I know all of that stuff. So it was just, it was.
I think he's right too because like when me and Carrie broke up, I was 28 or 29.
Okay, but you were born in 80.
Yeah, that was before we moved to that house.
Okay. But so 2010, so it's 2010 and 2011?
Yeah. What's up, bud?
Hey.
Hey,
get in. Oh, it's been a long time.
You want to say hey?
Hey.
Oh, wow. That is cool.
Yeah, you can't see his face right now. It's too much hair.
Yes, I
can.
Wow, that is too cool.
Okay, hey.
Yeah, definitely the last time I saw Gideon, he didn't have nearly that much hair. So in my mind, I had no idea he would have that. Surprised me. I still thought his hair would be like. I think, and then I think when I saw him, it was still dark too. The last time I saw his hair, it was dark and it was short.
Well, that's crazy. Is Evie's hair? I figured. Well, no, it didn't surprise me, but her hair is more of like a lightish brown, kind of like Gideon's hair. But yeah, people still say that's my baby, and I'm like, well, yeah, she does look like me, so you know. She has my nose, so yeah.
I haven't seen your baby in a while either, James.
Well, she's asleep, and I don't want to wake her.
Okay. Well,
I've got to enjoy this while I can.
Just letting you know. I need to see her at some point before she totally changes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It happens.
I mean, she's going to be 2 this year already.
Wow. 2 years old.
So Josiah is 6, Ariel is 4, and Ava is 3, 2.
Yep.
6'4",
6'4", man.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you better start making some money, man.
Oh, no doubt, man. I definitely had some college funds started, which is
good.
Great.
529 plan.
Yeah, got them for all 3 of them.
There you go.
That and so.
Well, at least you're not like Joel.
Oh yeah, he's got what, 4 girls?
4 girls and Hunter.
Oh, he's got is that a boy? Hunter?
Oh yeah. He's a boy.
I didn't know how you said, some people be like, yeah, you said it, Hunter. I thought it could have been, his dog or something.
Chris, you know Hunter. Yeah. Sanders?
Yeah.
Joel is one of my best friends, his dad.
Okay.
Yeah. So
yeah. I hope your kids don't turn out that crazy.
No. God bless him.
That Hunter, when he was on a different energy level.
Oh yeah. And he's still that way now. Still. And that's just wild.
But you had to love Lil Hunter.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I even told Joel the story about how I first met Hunter. And that goes back to the original 4 roommates.
So who was the original? Who was the original?
It was Leo, Wade, Chris, and me. Well, if you want to go original, it was Leo, Wade, Chris, and Stacy. And so when Stacy moved out, I moved in.
Gotcha.
Yep. My room was a front and living room area, and there was just a mattress on the floor.
It was the den. The den was his living room.
That was my bedroom.
That's his bedroom.
Which is why, the room that I upgraded to at our house really kind of, not much of a difference other than it being on a wooden floor. I mean, I did have a good, easy way onto that patio, that back patio. I mean, just go right through that door. I'm in the patio. That house was really kind of awesome if you think about it.
It definitely was. But the craziest thing that happened is weird. Y'all remember when I told you I pulled into the driveway where I parked all the time? Y'all remember this story, I think. And there's shrubbery all around, so I wouldn't think anybody could see me, and y'all couldn't see me either. The one day I had cash on me.
Yeah.
$500. I even put it in my eyeglass case, and I did it so discreetly. I might have even done it before I pulled up there, but anyway, I tucked it like just in a place under my seat, and it was black, and I had black floors where nobody would know, nobody would see it. The one day I had cash, somebody stole that out of the car, broke the window. I think they broke the window, didn't they? And stole it out of the car. That was the most peculiar thing, but I just I believed, I don't think anybody could have seen it. I just think that was something just deeper. So that was crazy though, man. That was the craziest thing.
That was when you were driving that black Mercedes, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was, man. That was crazy. But
you drive a minivan now?
A minivan? No, close though. I drive a something like that. It's a little small SUV, a Hyundai Palisade.
That is not a small SUV.
Okay, you're right. It's not small. It's not small.
The reason why I know that is because my mom drives a Hyundai Tucson, so I know the difference between the different model types.
It's not small. Let me not.
But it's that. Nice. It's nice.
Oh yeah, I like it.
I hope
we
so.
needed it. We needed it for the girls. We wanted to get them some space because Shia would always have to. We wouldn't have enough room for 3 car seats in the back, so Shia would have to have this little harness thing we bought her that's tested and safe, but it was uncomfortable, and she'd be sitting between the 2 car seats, and so she was really tired of that. And so we both were like, let's get them something comfy, and we've had it since like March, and it's been good.
And it's got enough room for baby number 4 too.
That's true. Yeah. Wait a minute. Yeah, it does. It does. But I think neither me nor Ashley is there. No, but yeah.
Okay.
It could. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you this one, the 2-year-old.
You mean Ava?
Yes. Before Ava, we both were like, we'll see. Man, since Ava, we just both been like, I don't think so. She's been tough, and she's great, but she has been tough.
You mean she's got a strong will or what?
Strong will, yeah, man.
Okay.
It's tough to do. Constant wrecking the house, man. Constant. I mean, constant. It's like, and she creates all these diversions. Like she'll be like I'll just use an example. This is typical of children, right? But holding a diaper with poop in it and got it on her hands and stuff. And we go trying to deal with that and clean her hands off, trying to deal with the diaper. Then she's like got the syrup and while we're doing that and dripping the syrup all on the floor. And then, so now we're going to run after the syrup and she's in the next room just throwing toys everywhere like this, to the room that our children, our other girls just cleaned up. Like she creates all these diversions and never stops.
So what are the other two doing?
They're good. Like the 6-year-old, she's an artist. She's like neat. She's drawing or constructively watching something educational like we've asked her to. And then then the 4-year-old is she's kind of our whiner, but she's got the iPad or she's singing to herself. She's kind of a loner, things like that. And then this 2-year-old's just like
Tasmanian devil just destroying the house.
Yeah, man. Yeah, exactly. So it's crazy.
Yeah.
And the craziest thing is, each of them, like the 6-year-old, when she was 2, we thought she was off the chain, and she was, but in a different way. Like she had this just piercing, gut-wrenching cry. And like when we were driving like places, say we were trying to make a 3-hour trip, we'd have to pull up on the side of the road or just get out because nothing would pacify her, and it was agonizing. So none of our children have had like a gut-wrenching cry like that. But we know the reason hers was like that is because she's still like this to this day. Like she's like kind of vindictive in a way and like passive aggressive. So as a kid, she was highly intelligent, and she didn't like us talking down to her like a baby or trying to pacify her. She's like, if I want to cry, I'm gonna cry and I'm gonna make you feel it. And that was just
at 2
what she did at 2. I promise you. And that's what she did. And she would not yield. And so that was her thing. We thought that was bad because it caused us a lot of pain and suffering, right? But then the 4-year-old,
Ariel.
she was just a whiner. Yeah, Ariel. She was cool though. She was just a whiner, nothing pressing. But then this one, she's just like, it's constant energy that has to be exerted on our part because there's nothing like out of her reach. Like the thing that you would think she wouldn't mess with, she does it all, man, just constantly. So she's been tough. Yeah.
So what was Gideon like at 2?
At 2, you could tell Gideon, he would be a good actor. Because anything he sees on TV, he tries to act out, and he can watch a show, and if he watches it 2 or 3 times, he will repeat the lines to you before they even say them.
Wow.
I mean, he would be a good actor. I know that boy can pull tears from nowhere. Like really? Like if he does not get his way, he will pull that sad face, and I'm telling you, tears just like that. And I'm like, how? I was like, if you can keep doing that when you get older.
I was about to say, yeah, channel that.
Yeah, you can make money.
Like literally channel that. YouTube channel it. Like literally,
What? Yeah.
Isn't that crazy now though that people can make money off of like Instagram, YouTube, TikTok? Isn't that weird?
Yeah. So yeah, it's such a different age. It's such a different day and time. My mother-in-law, my wife, myself, my mother-in-law yesterday were watching somebody on YouTube. And the funny thing about YouTube and the crazy thing is you got folks that's got a lot of talent, then you watch folks and it's like, okay, they put that together, but didn't take much. But it did take the thought process. But anyway, the folks that might not have all of that talent, they still have they have 150 million views or 200 million views. And my mother-in-law was sitting there getting angry. She was just like, this just makes no sense. But the thing was, for her, it wasn't so much that the folks were benefiting from it. It was, she's a retired school teacher, and she's gone back into the schools now to teach. And it was making her somewhat angry because the folks that were making the stuff didn't have substance. You know, the stuff that the kids watch, a lot of it doesn't have much substance to it. It's only entertainment value. And she was like, why can't some of these people make something educational? But then she said, then of course, you know, that wouldn't draw the kids in, a lot of them. So yeah, but yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy how you can make money so much.
Half the time I'm watching stuff with him on YouTube, I feel like I'm tripping on something. Because I'm like, this does not make sense. What is going on here?
And it's not just at his age, even teenagers, like, you know, teenagers that went that at a certain age where you would think that they're rationally able to, like when I was a teenager, I liked watching silly stuff, but I think I still had some type of some type of balance to it all.
They watch it the whole day. They would watch it. Yeah, exactly. They would watch it the whole day if they could. Matter of fact, they're in my class, you know, watching that mess, trying to watch that mess. So all that, and it is nothing like they can. And I do get some of it being relaxing. Like there's some things on there that are silly, and you can just watch it over and over. It's relaxing. It's a getaway. But then a lot of it is just mess and kind of makes my head hurt, you know. If you watch it too long, it makes you restless because it's like, this is nothing.
Yeah. Which is, you know, you think about, you know, kids these days, how they develop. If they develop with that type of attention disorder and not really learning how to create substance and things like that, you know what?
Well, and also
we're going towards Idiocracy.
It started a whole new thing too. Like, you know, when we were kids, like, you know, like, what do you want to do when you grow up? Oh, I want to be like this basketball player, this football player. And when you got like Gideon, he's like, I want to be a Twitch streamer. And I'm like, what? And like, we actually had an argument one night because he didn't want to put a pull-up on because he was like, but I can't be a good streamer if I'm wearing a pull-up. And I said, well, son, you don't have to tell him what kind of underwear you wear.
Really? That's weird.
He's like, they're not going to think I'm cool if they know I wear pull-ups. I was like, why would they know you're wearing pull-ups?
Unless you tell them.
Right. I was like, you don't tell them stuff like that. I was like, we're going to have, you know, we've had some talks about, you know, internet bullies and stuff like that. But I think we need to have a talk of, okay, there's just some things you don't have to talk about.
Yeah. That's weird.
You know,
6, 5.
Chris, you brought up a good point when you were talking about how, you know, folks have had these, especially when we were growing up, everybody aspired to be athletes, and now, you know, folks aspire to be gamers and all this kind of stuff. And I think the thing that the kids miss, though, most of them that are aspiring to be these things, they miss, you know, the work ethic. And I think we talked about this before on this show, but the work ethic that it takes to do any of that stuff. And that's what they don't see when they're watching all of that. So it's like all of this stuff is going in their brains, but not what it takes. Because honestly, in order to be great at any of the stuff that they want to, you know, that they are aspiring to, they can't, the irony is they can't be spending the time that they are on YouTube. Like, you need to maybe have an hour.
You have to learn how to create it. How
to
create the content.
Exactly. You know,
like, you know, when it comes to this stuff, you know, I don't know how to do like upload well, I mean, I do, but like what you did for it to have its own separate channel, you know, I had to kind of refresh my memory on how to do all that. You know, there's things that you have to do in order to make content exist. And when I was in college, I was originally studying to information systems because I was going to be in computers like my dad. Well, after my freshman year of college, I was like, screw that, I don't want to do this, because back then you had to learn how to do C++ and Visual Basic and all these code things. And a friend of mine's son, he's talking about programming these bots and all that stuff. I'm like, ugh, And then he explained to me like how they do coding now and how much more easier it is. Like, well, I could do that now. I mean, that's a lot easier now. And so, connecting those 2 points, you have to put some type of work in. But what concerns me about that, if they're not willing to put in the work, and they don't want to do, if they want to be, they'd rather be a Twitch streamer versus an engineer, a civil engineer, or something with, building roads and infrastructure. Well, then, all those people are doing these very valuable jobs they're not going to be there. Like somebody got to teach the kids, like, getting your hands dirty is a good thing. This hard work is a good thing. It will pay off. And it's very valuable for society as a whole.
Yeah. And
the robots can't do everything.
Right. And I think it's, especially with this generation, we have to teach them it's okay to have that balance. Like it's okay to have those two worlds. It's okay to have a career, and it's you don't have to go 100% for this thing over here at the expense of having a foundation in skills that are in demand. You can have that, but that goes back to what you were saying, James, about the structure and teaching kids how to put things in that place, and it really goes back to the simplicity, even in like, okay, you go to school. After school, there's a time to do homework, then there's a time to play. And that's what we're missing in a lot of our society. But I just want to share this one thing. I was showing my high school students, a video about Stephen Curry. And as we all know, Stephen Curry, he's been the MVP of the league, actually twice, won multiple championships, and just set the all-time NBA record for threes, where we were watching his daily routine, and one of the things that he still does every day, he has like 4 hours of intense training where he's working not only on his shot, but he's working on his his ball handling skills. This is one of the best top 3 ball handlers in the league, best shooter of all times, but he's constantly working to get better. And not to mention, every day he works in the time with his family and all that, which is great. That's the balance. But if Stephen Curry has to do that to keep getting better, it's just, that's what it takes.
And also too, people kind of don't take this into account. When you get to that NBA, any professional level, already you're one of the best out of everybody else that wants to play a certain sport. You're not just good enough. You are one of the best. So any like regular Joe Schmo off the street, average Joes versus the pros, that show that used to be out, thinking they can go up against the professional athletes. You don't understand what you're going up against. Right. You don't understand the conditioning, the work ethic, the physicality, the mentality. That's why the Last Dance, that Michael Jordan Netflix Last Dance, I mean, we all knew that he had an ego the size of a planet, but just to be able to hear it played out and laid out over a 10-part series talking about Michael Jordan, it's just his thought process behind everything. I mean, it's amazing. Like and if you think about it this way too, once you're on a job and you've built a career out of it, meaning you've done it for, in my mind, at least 5 plus 10 years, you do reach a certain level of mastery where, because I've got guys coming in and, everybody asks me questions about every single friggin' topic on the earth, but in the area that I do, that's my specialty. That's what I'm supposed to do. You learn some things. And that's what the kids have to understand is like, if you really want to commit to this, you've got to be willing to put in the work and the ethic. And over time, mastery will come and it'll be worth it. But, I guess it's just making sure they got good values at the end of the day.
Right.
Well, I got to put in the work ethic to figure out this cryptocurrency, NFTs.
I know. It's wild. Like, I got involved with that stuff back in 2017. It is wild how much has changed. It's it's really crazy stuff. It's
amazing. Like, you know how, okay, so like the big thing now is like people Twitch streaming and stuff, but then it's like you already know that the next big thing is going to be this whole metaverse thing.
Yeah. Yep.
And I don't know, it's just insane.
It is insane. We're heading towards Wall-E and Idiocracy combined.
Yep.
But what's interesting, like you said, Chris, how you can see where things are headed, we also can see that, how these entities are driving society when you look at it. Mm-hmm. That's what's happening when y'all talk about, like, I gotta go see the movie that y'all are talking about. But these are the powers that be, which are really in plain sight in today's age, for the most part, are just driving the narrative, So again, I think it's important for us to, even teach our children, how to identify that, because so many of them get caught up in a world where they become victims and because they can't see things plainly, exactly for what they are, and so they get caught up and they become a pawn, if you will, in a big scheme of things, instead of those who are kind of looking from the outside in and influencing. Yeah.
Well, working in the industry I work in, I can say once you get to a certain level of net worth and money, it does become just a numbers game.
Yeah.
You start thinking about it differently. It doesn't mean you don't care about what you do, but it's something inside the human mind that's just like, just a little bit more. I got this number, I want to get this number. That's that they don't have that level of contentment. Whereas me, once I hit my number, I'm done. I'm happy. That's good. But no, the metaverse, I mean, that stuff's been existing since back in the days of I don't know if y'all ever heard of Second Life, but Second Life was basically the metaverse.
I think I kind of remember that.
Yeah. It was like The Sims. It was an online game. Yeah. I think it still exists now. And you just go out there, you could buy real estate, you can sell goods and all that stuff. I mean, I was like, oh, this is just like Second Life, except with a lot more tech. It's wild.
And virtual reality.
Yep. I'm surprised that hasn't really adopted as quickly as with all the technology.
But with talking about Idiocracy, I'm really sad that you can't walk to Costco and they don't tell you I love you. I mean, they should do that.
You need to watch that movie, Derek.
I mean, that was probably my favorite part, because it has everything. The guy's like, welcome to Costco, I love you.
I'm gonna go tell Ashley, we've been looking for a good movie, y'all. We really have, and we haven't found anything that we just wanted to give our time to, but this sounds like something that we're using.
It's funny, but if you remove the comedy out of it and you just look at it from looking at it like it was a documentary, you'd be like, oh my God.
Wow.
Like, where'd you go to law school? Oh, Costco.
Oh my gosh.
I want to say this one little thing, kind of my last thing, gentlemen. It's about the meta universe, and I guess my concern with things like that, I really haven't looked that much into it, but our children growing up, when I say children, I'm talking about the teens, even, the youngins, 20, 21, 22, all these young folks, they're growing up and they're already much more disconnected from the world and society than we were, out of touch. They're out of touch socially with being empathetic to people. And so you talk about a meta universe where you can do all these things, that just further makes folks, feel that there's no real consequences for, their actions. I kind of feel that way. So yeah, we have to really, really kind of be on the lookout and, be prayerful really about, the influence that has on our loved ones, and as many folks that we can help, we to navigate what's going to happen, you know, we need to be able to help them. So,
and that kind of reminds me of, like, you know, that story recently of where the guy in Montgomery was going into poor neighborhoods to, you know, spread the word of God. And a 17-year-old comes up to him, shoots him, kills him, and just walks off. I mean, these kids, like, they just, I don't know, the youth today, man, they're just lost.
Yeah, they've been influenced with this stuff for so long. This, like we started off earlier, this mess for so long that their conscience, you know, a lot of them, I hate to say it, you know, but already at such an early age, some of their consciences are like seared where they don't, it's hard to get things through to them, and they just don't have that empathy. They don't care for people. They don't care for human life. That's sad. I'm sorry, I didn't know about that story. I'm gonna have to look that up. I didn't even know about that one. Or maybe I heard about it.
I think he had his 2-year-old kid with him too, I think.
Oh man.
So yeah, he got shot dead in front of his child.
Man.
Yeah, Montgomery didn't do a good job reporting it. Actually, the best story I saw on it was from a news source in Britain.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. That the level of crimes are not actually being reported accurately, and they're even like the actual true number is not being reported. It's being classified as something else, so it doesn't get classified as murder. And you know, and I'm thinking about us as kids. When we were kids, if you think about a child and a child's progression into adulthood, and think about the groups that they have. When you're born, you have your parents, okay? Then you go to your school, and then, well, you know, junior high, whatever, then high school, then out into the real world, or down the path to college. So if you think about it, unless the child is consistently assuming they have a good home environment, unless the child is consistently introduced into groups, like groups with other people, interacting with other people, there's a strong possibility that that empathy that you're talking about isn't going to be developed properly. So, you know, because again, we grew up in an age where the internet really wasn't there. So, you know, if we want to hang out, we're going to a party, we're going somewhere. You know, we didn't even, there wasn't even text messaging on the phones, you know, all that, you know, a lot of things that kids have access to now. As a parent, it is up to us to kind of get them out there. It's like, hey, you need to get around other people, you know, so you can understand, like, this is what you do, this is what you don't do. These are good things. That's why, you know, it's disciplining the child's even more so important on us to do it, because if their friends don't know how to do it, they don't understand how society works, then that there is no empathy. And that's, you're right. We're going to have a generation that doesn't have any concern about each other. You know, somebody's going to be getting shot at on the middle of the street, and somebody's going to be streaming it, which is happening now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Imagine on a massive scale. People don't, you know, whereas it's like, if somebody's about to try to kill somebody back in the day, somebody would, unless it's, you know, that they're scared, they would jump in and like try to help somebody. Stop it. Right, exactly.
Which they there's a show called Black Mirror, and they did an episode where it was kind of like that, where this lady, I think somebody was trying to kill her, and every time somebody saw it, like, they were just watching it with their phone. I mean, videoing it, and nobody would help her. I mean,
and the other side of it, it's like, it's not my responsibility to do it, because, well, that's the police's responsibility to do it, you know. Well, if you don't have enough police on the police force, that nothing, you know, somebody has to be a guardian.
Yeah.
You know, so wow, some pretty heavy stuff for a morning.
Right. Hey, let me. Got some kiddies that want to say hey to y'all.
Oh my gosh, everybody! Hey,
Shia, Ariel, and Ava.
Hello.
Hey. That's Mr. James and Mr. Chris.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh yeah, they said they seen Mr. James before. Yeah, I've seen him. I know. Mr. Chris. We all used to be roommates. We used to stay in the same house. Yep, that's right. In the same house. All three of us used to. No, not with us.
No, we're not moving in. Don't worry, we're not moving in.
Stay in the same house with them. Yeah.
I don't know. Gideon would like it because he wants a sister or brother.
What'd you say, Chris?
I said Gideon would like it because he wants a sister or a brother. So.
Oh. Well, all right, y'all. You know, this is the cavalry that's been summoned for me. So
till next time.
Until next time, James, if you want, man, you know, you got the reins actually. So I can leave and y'all can kind of chat out, say your goodbyes and talk for a while. So, but yeah, I'm about to go. Chris, man, it's been nice, man, getting to talk to you. It's been
it's good to see you.
All right, good seeing you too. See y'all later.
All right, man.
Bye.
Bye. Isn't that wild, man?
Crazy, dude.
It's like we go from like to where we were, and now he's got 3 daughters. But yeah, this is what we do. We just come on and just talk, and and it like there's no we just talk about stuff. Just kind of flow back and forth. So
yeah, anytime y'all want me back, just let me know.
Yeah, of course we're gonna want you back, man. We're only like 4 episodes in, and some people watched it and they're like, shouldn't you do this? Shouldn't you do that? And I'm like, no.
Just doing our own thing.
Yeah, we're just doing our own thing. I mean, I didn't know any, like, I don't know anything about, like, when it comes to, like, the road or any of that stuff. So it's just, for me, it's interesting, like, learning about that. And, being parents now, like, the stuff that we're having to navigate. And, the crypto adoption, it is really crazy, because when I first got it, Bitcoin was around 3,000. So, and last year it got up to be around in the 60s. Now it's right around 37s. I'm personally using Coinbase. So it's gonna be one of those things where it's gonna kind of change up. The technology behind it is gonna change up a lot of things. And yeah.
Especially when we go to Mars,
Yeah. Oh, Elon Musk. He is dead set on this. I think what he's going to end up doing, he's going to end up integrating the space stuff with Neuralink and that satellite stuff, so that we're all shot up into Mars. He's got some master plan to link all this stuff he's been working on together.
Yeah, I saw a thing somebody was asking, and they were like, so this whole Mars thing is basically how the elites are going to get away from Earth. And he was like, no. He said, and he had a perfectly good reason. He said, this is why it's not like that. He's like, because the elites want to go somewhere where they know they're still going to be alive.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, he said, the first trip to Mars is not going to be easy. And he said, they might not even make it.
Right.
He said, if they do, then they have to make sure they land.
Right.
He said, but then if they land successfully, he's like, then they have to build a habitat. And he goes, it's going to be nothing but work.
And
he's like, I don't know how many wealthy people that would want to go and do that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And he was like, I'm not even going to be going first.
Right. Yeah. So the only way to really make it work is to have all the world governments incentivizing people to go work. Yeah. Huh. That's a very good point. I never would have thought about that. Yeah. I see the argument, but the reasoning behind it would not be them. I never thought of that.
Yeah. I mean, the man's a genius.
Yeah. He's definitely if he turns out to be a real alien, I'd be like, that doesn't surprise me. But all that stuff he's been talking about all these years doesn't surprise me.
He's probably already like in a alien war with Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, they're duking it out on the. They're already they've been duking it out. It's like, okay, well, we got to take this to the metaverse. Somebody's gonna make a documentary about all this years from now, and we're gonna just be sitting there like, see, look at all this crazy stuff. Isn't that wild, man?
I feel, because we grew up in the era where computers were just starting.
Yeah.
And how our parents don't understand it.
Right.
Well, now I know how they feel. Like looking at some of the stuff Gideon's into, I'm like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
And like he'll probably grow up and he'll probably know everything about NFTs, cryptocurrency, and all this. When I was here for the beginning of it, but I still don't understand it. Like I could not explain it to somebody.
Yeah. No, the NFT thing really does that. I mean, I understand what it is, but I don't understand why it has the value that it has. That doesn't make any sense. To me, that is like the orchid, the orchid phase back in the 1500s. I just, I mean, it's way you can claim rights to your property digitally, but I don't know that one's tart.
I saw somebody explaining it to who was the director of like Kill Bill?
Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, somebody was explaining it to him because he asked. He's like, "What is an NFT?"
Yeah.
And so they had a poster. It was like a Kill Bill poster, and they said, "Okay, look at it like this. You made that movie. You designed that poster, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." He goes, "Okay, well, let's just say somebody bought the rights to that poster. So you don't own that anymore, but this one person does own it." He goes, "Now you can make copies or something, but since this person owns it, he could actually sue you, the one that made it. He could sue you because he owns that."
Which is why a lot of those creative people are going crazy trying to buy it up as quickly as possible. Which there's a high demand for it, so okay, and they're creating the supply. They're creating the supply.
But to me, the smartest people in the world are probably hackers, because now we've already had NFTs that have been hacked.
Yep.
And people are like, "I spent millions on this, this one with the monkey or whatever, and now they're just gone."
Yep.
So yeah.
That's where, and what hasn't been talked about a lot, which should be talked about, but it's being pushed underneath the rug because of the pandemic. But I think we're going through a huge 2020 more so started a huge identity theft crisis. The level of fraud that is going on, especially in the financial industry, is I have never seen it like this bad ever. It is crazy and rampant. So I don't know how to. I don't know how anybody's going to fight that. I don't know.
I think, and I do like watching the videos of where like you'll have like a guy that's kind of like a computer hacker, and then you have one of these people from India trying to scam him. And then next thing you know, he's like on their computer, like looking through their camera, and he's like, "Oh, whoa, why are y'all hiding? What are you doing? Come back."
Well, I guess back to your point, kind of looking at it from the Matrix standpoint, you're gonna have your, as Blake would call it, your white hats. I think that's what they're called. They're hackers that do it for good things to protect. As long as there's good people and people that have empathy and understand right from wrong, I think we'll be fine. But
and then the sad thing is, like, there are hackers out there now, like it happened with one of the pipelines, where they can hack your system and hold it for ransom.
Yep.
And I mean, the sad thing is though, is that they can do that to hospitals and stuff too.
Well, they did that to Montgomery County.
Yeah.
Remember they hacked into the Montgomery County and they took they had ransomware for that, and county paid it. Yeah. They hacked into the county. Yeah. So it's one of those things.
It's just funny that no matter what you come up with, there's always somebody with a criminal mind that's going to come up with a way to get around it.
Well, it's true. And then when you think about this, if you think about AI is just unbelievable. You throw in automation and AI on top of human, just human, you know, thoughts and creativity and their mix of good and evil. I mean, and quantum computing. I mean, we're gonna be in a dangerous place. In fact, I found this guy while I was looking on Facebook. His Instagram name is Hedrily, and he makes digital art. But what he does is he can take anything. He can take like a Disney princess and reinterpret the person as what they would look like in real life using AI. And I was just like, this seems a little interesting. But then I started looking at it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is really cool stuff. He like paintings of historical figures, what they would look like in the modern era, or like Disney characters, or take a celebrity and age them, or take another celebrity, age them without plastic surgery, or combine two different celebrities if they had a kid together, what that kid would look like. And these are like realistic photos, and I'm like, this is a wild stuff. You need to like take a look at this guy. I'll send you a picture of some of his artwork. It's amazing what technology can do now. It's scary.
It is.
And then you take into account, we didn't mention this movie, but Ready Player One. Ready Player One is yeah.
To me, like when they started talking about the metaverse, that was the very first thing I thought about.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's where we're going. I mean, the movie was so awesome in that the movie, was based off of the book, but the way they took everything in pop culture and put that into that movie, it was amazing to watch. When you're thinking about it in reality, and you're like, wow. Yeah. Like we're almost about 10, 20 years, we're there.
If you could mash up Idiocracy and Ready Player One, that's our future.
That's our future. It's our future. And that'd be a great. It would be great. It would be a great movie, just from a standpoint that you could do it as a documentary or as a piece of fiction, and people would watch it. I'd watch that movie. You don't even have to put it as a movie. You could put it as a series, and people would love that stuff, man. And with the way technology is and how cheap it's getting, they're gonna do it. Someone's gonna create that. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, and also because mainly people are running out of stories. I mean, that's why we have so many reboots and all this. And it's just and that's another thing with all this technology and everything. It's like the free thinkers are starting to disappear.
That's right.
Because these kids now, if
they just want to do on a Twitch stream. Yeah, they go to their phone.
If they just need to know something, it's all right here.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's, for us, like we had to, okay, let's go get the encyclopedia or, and search for it. And, or get to the library. We have to use the those cards to find where the book is. And I mean, it's just,
they're microfiche.
Yeah, it's crazy how everything is readily accessible now.
Yeah, it's crazy. And we're not going to even talk about the things that you can get on your phone that you shouldn't be looking at if you're like a little kid. I mean, that stuff's on your phone now, versus like you had to like stay up late at night to find it, or had somebody happen to have a stash somewhere. I mean, that's,
or trying to watch through the squiggly lines on the TV.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and then now it's like I had a coworker the other way. He was going to move out of his dad's house. He's living with his dad right now. He's just got out of college. He explained to his dad, it's like, hey, when I move out of the house, what I want to do, I want to cut you from the cable box, and you're gonna have everything streaming now. So his dad, who's probably in his 60s to 80s, could not grasp the fact that he was saying to him, it's like, well, am I going to lose everything on my computer when I switch over to streaming? And he's like, Dad, no, you're not going to, no, they're not even connected to it. Are you sure? And he just got frustrated and left. But, now fast forward that 20 years to when our kids are young adults, they're going to have to be playing this stuff to us. And they're just like, we're going to be freaking out too,
It's like, because, most of the people, well, I say most, a few of the people I still work with, were over 50.
Mhm.
So when they were wanting to cut their cable and they were asking us about, streaming, you could tell that they were like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And like, I would just pull up my phone and I'd show them, I was like, these are my streaming services. And I would just push the button and be like, see, now it goes right into it. I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
And, what I do hate though, is about where I live. There is one cable company that has a monopoly up. You know how much my internet, just internet,
100?
200.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I saw that the other day and I was like, I'm paying $200 for internet.
Wow. And then on top of the streaming,
Yeah. But I was like, I don't know, man. It's insane to me that they could charge. But I mean, my other alternative is AT&T, and I know that's not.
Not
good.
And I don't, I just don't. And that's why if they really want to keep the internet going, they're going to have to find the technology and keep building like the physical technology for it. And again, if the kids just wanted to be streaming on Twitch, and you got these guys that are willing to do the work dying out, I mean, that's a bottleneck that's coming, I mean, I don't know about you. I mean, if it doesn't require that much work behind it, and I just have to do some things, then I do. You can pay me $100,000. I'll do it. It just depends upon the level of manual labor, but you give me a nice high enough price tag. Those are where the new jobs are going to be coming down the line. Is keeping the infrastructure going and training those people to do it.
And seeing that'd be like my thing. Like if I didn't need the internet, I wouldn't be paying that $200 for it.
Yeah, no, exactly.
But with a 5-year-old kid,
right?
I have to, especially when he gets older and has to start doing more schoolwork at home and all that. Then he's going to have internet because they do everything on the
internet. Yeah, smart boards and things like that, and iPads
and even just like every time I find out something from his school, it's not in his book bag. It's through an email or something.
Right. Do they get books anymore these days?
Well, it's usually through. Huh?
Do they get books anymore these days? Like physical books?
I don't know yet. He's still in pre-K, so I don't know.
Okay.
I would think so, but I do know that most schools now give out like iPads and stuff.
Yeah. Because I know
they do still have books. Because when I was still with Becca, when she was teaching at that elementary school, she was telling me about all the rooms having to bring their books in and stuff so she could put them up. And so.
Okay.
And Gideon School, they still won't. I mean, they still have book fairs. We did a book fair not too long ago. Now the funny thing is it's changed where he didn't actually have to take money with him. I had an account through Scholastic where I put his money in there. And so all he had to do was pick out his books, and then he told them his name, and they look and see how much money was in there, and then he got his books. It's like a little e-wallet.
Yeah, a little e-wallet. Yeah. And this is just in America. I know that probably in places like Japan and China, the technology is just wicked crazy out there.
Oh yeah.
Well, especially in Japan, since it's an island. So that's why they had to innovate as much as they did. So, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next 20, 30 years and how we keep everything powered, and food.
And what's funny is like I've always been a big sci-fi fan.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so crazy, like when new stuff comes out and people are like, oh yeah, that's cool. I never would have thought about that. And I'm like, well, somebody did about 40 years ago because on the show they were doing this thing.
Yeah. It's like when you watch like old episodes of Star Trek and they use the communicator thing, they couldn't possibly imagine, nor could they have replicated a smartphone. They got close, but the communicator was, it was a cell phone. And in essence, they couldn't imagine what would become the smartphone, which is amazing. Yeah, man. Wonder what.
I never would have thought that somebody would have came up with a rocket that can land itself. onto a barge out in the ocean that's unmanned.
Wow. Really?
But here comes Elon Musk.
Yeah. It's just amazing to me the things that they're thinking up with that we know about. You know, you start thinking about what the governments are doing behind the scenes too. There must be some really crazy stuff that we don't even know about.
Yeah.
That we can't even imagine. You know, that's, I tell you what, human beings are pretty damn amazing. I don't see chimps doing crap like this. They're just trying to, you know, throw poo at each other, rip each other's face off. You know, we're on a Zoom conference call right now. I mean, you know, human beings, we're pretty much on Earth. We're the top dog species. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about any other species kind of beating us out right now.
now if just all the humans could come together,
yeah,
and you know, be human towards each other.
Yeah.
Which there was a comedian a long time in the 80s, I forgot his name, but he had a point where he was talking about how people were like, well, we need to save the whales and save the planet and do this, and he's like, how are you going to save any of that when we can't even save ourselves?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. You know, I thought I saw a quote pretty recent. It was along the same lines. It's like, you know, instead of focusing on saving the world, we need to save each other. Yeah. Because if we save each other, then in essence, we'll end up saving the world too.
I mean, in my movie experience, the only way that all of the world is going to come together is if aliens attack us. So.
Yeah. And, you know, that's the other side of like what we see in movies. Like in the movie like Transformers, for example, where they're sitting there and they're destroying all these cars on the highway and all that stuff. You know, there's a disconnect from the reality of the situation. That's somebody driving to work that's, you know, dead. You know, thousands of people dead. You know, I mean, I would, as a human being, there would be a massive come together, you know?
Yeah.
So,
but then in the end, but it would actually have to happen because, like, I just watched that Don't Look Up movie.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, a lot of it was just kind of dumb, but the point that they were like, hey, this asteroid is going to hit Earth, and everybody's just like, no, it's not. It's kind of like, you know, I mean, it would literally take something to actually happen for the world to come together. Kind of like 9/11. Like, you know, all these people hated each other, but 9/11 happened, then all of New York came together, and the U.S. came together, and so it takes something, I think, really bad to happen.
World changing. Yeah. Right. World changing. Yeah. Yeah. 9/11 really is, as far as I can think of, to my knowledge, one of the few events in the generation I've been living in where I've seen like a massive come together.
Yeah.
You know, because you had the collapse of the Soviet Union, and you had all these different things, but you never, like, maybe because it was just, for me, it was more relevant, but I can remember where I was, what I was doing when it happened. You know, and to me, it equates back to like Pearl Harbor. People can tell you where they were, what they were doing when it happened. You know, it's like it had that type of effect.
But
that life-changing effect to the world, you know. And I just like post 9/11, I really can't, other than the pandemic really is a world-changing event, but it seemed to work the opposite way, because the world's very divided right now. At least it seems that way to me, that it's very divided right now.
Yeah, I was about to say the pandemic to me actually divided a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Just on, like, you know, on what you're supposed to do and all this. And it's like, you know, at first I didn't want to get vaccinated.
Right.
But my job kind of forced my hand.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, at the time it was, they were like, you know, if you get vaccinated and you're around somebody with COVID, you can come back to work. If you're not, you have to use your own leave and stay off for 10 days. Well, at the time, every time I went to a plant, I was around somebody that ended up getting it. And so it's like my boss told me the other day. He said, COVID's whooping your butt. You've only had it once.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah. I said, I spent more time in this apartment because of COVID without me having it.
Right. Right. And we live in a state where it's not nearly as crazy as California or New York. Can you imagine what that's doing to people? And then you think about the financial aspect of it all. I mean, I'm just surprised that the economy hasn't absolutely collapsed. I mean, I know with the stimulus money and all these PPP loans, it's been kind of pumping everything up, but I just thinking back to the mortgage crisis back in 07. I mean, I'm just surprised we're still hanging in there. And
it like this whole housing thing, like I was just looking at houses and there's no way I'm getting one right now.
No, don't. I wouldn't recommend it.
I looked and there was a trailer, like a rundown trailer on 1 acre of land.
Yep.
For $150,000.
Wow. That's insane.
And it looked like it was like a trailer from like late 80s or early 90s.
And that's completely overinflated. It should be about 30.
Yeah. Now you do know, like they have trailers now that
really nice
cost you $150,000-$200,000.
Yeah.
But look at what's on the inside of them. Like this one literally looked like it was from like the late 80s. And I was like, there ain't no way. And 2 pictures, and it was all of just the outside of the trailer. And I was like, you're selling this for 150? No,
we're good. No, the housing market is absolutely insane. The supply is the builders can't get enough inventory because of the supply chain. And so they're having some cost overruns and, and then people want to get out of their houses. You also got to think about too, there's a lot of baby boomers that are wanting to retire. They're wanting to sell their houses too. Yep. So there's a lot of factors that come into play that are, the cost is, and then now interest rates are going to start going up. The Fed's supposed to bump it up at least 3 times this year. So that's at least 0.25 or 25 basis points. So that means like eventually what's going to happen is, people that are on variable mortgages, their payments are going to increase. And also too, people coming in to get mortgages, they're going to have their payments going to be a little bit higher. So it's going to, so the housing prices are going to start coming down. That's why they're going to raise the interest rates, but good Lord, people can't afford to make their payments. That's gonna be bad.
And like this apartment I live in is, compared to everywhere else I've lived, it's probably one of the crappiest places. But I'm paying the most that I've ever paid.
Yeah,
like because they just raised the rent. Yeah, I just raised the rent, and that with my water, which I pay through them, I pay roughly about $815 for this little 2-bedroom apartment.
Wow. How many square feet is it?
I mean, that's not much.
Like my mom, she's in an apartment, 2-bedroom apartment. I think her rent's about $960. But I mean, it's not. Well, hold on. Yeah, it's 2 bedrooms. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. But inflation is going crazy right now, man.
Now, also, these apartments, they were built like in the 60s.
Oh, Jesus.
As I was like, even some of those houses that, I lived in Old Cloverdale, even though they were older, they were still nicer than this place.
And there was some maintenance from time to time, too. Yeah. Yeah. That's a thing that people are seeing a lot of, is multifamily, like apartment complexes. There's one guy that bought an apartment complex, and he's thinking about reselling it, and the value on it's going up by $1 million, $2 million, because the real estate's just crazy right now.
Yeah,
it's wild. I think eventually we are going to get to the place where you're going to need to have universal basic income to help supplement a lot of the stuff that's going on. I don't see any way around it because inflation keeps going up. I mean, my job's only going to pay me so much.
Yep.
And that I may or may not get a raise. I still got to eat. How can I be a productive member of society if I can't, do something? So their universal basic income has to come into play at some point. It has to come into play in our nation.
Of course, anytime it's up for the governor to get reelected, that's usually when I might get a raise, other than my annual.
Right. And then you have to factor in the cost of living, and then you factor in inflation, and it's barely break even, barely, probably negative, really, if you really dug into it. So, it's, people can't. That's why I'm definitely in favor of people trying to get out of debt as fast as possible, because that's just an unnecessary burden on your life. Yeah, it's hard work. It's hard work, but having that extra, like I tell somebody, it's like, hey, you do realize for this whole time that you've been in debt, you've been $400 a month out of your paycheck. Well, now that you're out of debt, you just gave yourself a $4,800 raise a year. You just gave yourself an extra $400 a month. You gave yourself a raise by not being in debt. So, that's for people that are in debt. I just want to help them get out of it as quick as possible. But, at the end of the day, you think about, well, how can I supplement my income? You got guys on YouTube channels and podcasts, man. Gary Vee did a video where he was talking about it's hard to get the younger kids to understand the value of going and working a job for an employer. You're making 40 a year, when if you do it right because you're connected to the world, you get streaming, you could make 100,000 just by posting a stupid video. So it's hard to get them to understand what, and I don't understand. I think that we're going to be in a problem if we don't have people doing the things to keep the infrastructure in place. You're not going to have an internet if you don't have somebody constantly innovating the technology to keep it running, keep the streaming running, the power, infrared structure, power grids. I don't know. We could be in problems unless we get the robotics and AI and automation in place.
Yep.
So Elon's going to keep on making money, man.
Exactly.
We need to encourage Gideon. Be like Elon Musk.
Yeah.
You want me to go to Mars? It's like, no, son. I just want you to think. Keep thinking. Don't.
No, I want you to get Asperger's and become
Oh man.
Well, I'm about to have to go look after him. He's probably destroyed my living room.
Yeah, Evie's about to be getting up pretty soon. I gotta beat her, buddy. But yeah, no, we're gonna have you back on again soon.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate it, and I had fun.
All right. I'll catch you later, buddy. Say it.
All right, man.
Bye.
Bye.